So I've been depressed for the last week. I think I'm coming out of it again. It was really just like I was depressed for 2 months, out of it for maybe a week or two, and then I was in depression again for a week. So that's unfortunate. There's always something really tragic and horrendous about me doing that, because, that's essentially a week less of life. And when it's even more valuable than a week less of life, it's a week less of my life when I'm relatively young still, It seems like a week of time when I'm 70 or something wouldn't be quite as valuable. Excuse me. That, my capacity for doing positive things would be diminished then, I would imagine. Although, who knows? Maybe by virtue of wisdom and position I might be in, it could be more valuable then. Who knows? But 70, I think, would be, kind of on the extreme end of that. But yeah, so I'm kind of thinking about what brought me into the depression, but actually I'm thinking about maybe what I want to talk about is the stream I had the night before last. So I had this dream the night before last where I was with a group of students at De Anza College, and they were kind of activist oriented. They were doing amazing things that I wanted to support. Things that, they were doing what I'd kind of fought for. I allowed myself to basically be martyred a couple years ago to allow for that potential to exist, and now that potential is being fulfilled. There's something really amazing going on at De Anza College. I was at the Student Activist Art Show, I think 2 weeks ago, and it's not only a renaissance of student activism to the level it was in 2002, 2003, but it's actually beyond that. It's something that, to my knowledge, has never existed before at De Anza College. It's really kind of a mainstream thing where people are feeling empowered, where people are being empowered, truly, not just feeling it, and are creating something collectively that is beautiful. I feel like I'm talking in a really abstract term. It's hard for me to quantify what is really valuable about it, but it feels immensely valuable to me. And so, I was at the Student Activist Art Show, and I'm like, wow, I've had this experience of just, feeling like I was alone. When I came back to De Anza in 2007, it was like, all the activism had left, what I thought was really valuable, what I was defending, what I basically allowed myself to be martyred for, was the potential of that to exist, the potential of this valuable thing to exist in students. And now it does exist, and it's incredible, and I don't know if my martyring myself really helped, but it exists now, and wow, I'm so happy it exists. And anyway, I do feel humbled. I kind of have felt before like I was, I know it's kind of rude to say, or it's kind of disrespect. I had the feeling of just like working with idiots before, just like this. I don't want to be disrespectful to other people. I really don't. But no, they weren't idiots. It's just, it was so difficult. And of course I made mistakes, and I wasn't understood. I allowed myself to be misunderstood, and now I'm having to deal with that still, because I didn't defend myself. I didn't try to, affect other people's perceptions of me. I didn't defend my reputation, whatever, so something, really kind of horrendous for everyone happened. Because nobody wants to be a persecutor of the innocents, and nobody wants to be unfairly persecuted. But anyway, So yeah, going back to my dream. So I was with these group of people, and we were going somewhere. We were doing something. I wasn't quite part of the group, but that was fine. You know, I was working with them, and I had the potential to work with them, and that felt great. And they were doing something, and since they were a group, they were going together, and I was just kind of following them, which is fine. And this is anyway. So. I remember at one part of the dream, we were at the kind of like security police station place at the ends of college, and there was this guy there who I went to high school with, and he, you know, I don't think I've actually seen him since high school, or maybe I did a couple times, just randomly seeing him in Cupertino, but He has kind of an unusual looking face, and he's also kind of an unusual person. You know, just talking with him, he's a little bit different from most people. And I have a feeling of guilt when I think about him, because I kind of felt like I should have defended him. A friend of mine when I was in high school, Justin, you know, I mean, Justin was a nice guy, basically, and he's not somebody who is terribly unfair to people, but he referred to the guy as being Horseface, and, you know, I don't remember what the guy's real name is, but that's the only name I can remember for him, and I think I heard that from Justin. Yeah, I'm sure I did, actually. You know, Justin's fine. Justin's a beautiful person, whatever. But I guess I should have felt like it. I guess I feel like I should have defended this guy to Justin a little bit more. And, you know, Justin wasn't even really making fun of him. He was just remarking that other people call this guy Horseface, and I guess I just felt like I should have been. It felt, something about it felt a little disrespectful to me, and I felt like I should have defended him. So anyway, this guy, in the dream, was an employee at De Anza College working in the security office, and he motioned to me like this, like he wanted me to come in the office and write something down while I was there, and he wanted to look at my ID, I guess, just to make sure it was okay that I was on campus, and I didn't have my wallet with me, I didn't have my ID with me, and so I told him my details, my name and date of birth, and I don't know what, and while he was doing that, like when he motioned for me to go in the office, this group of students who I was really excited to be working with were going away to go somewhere else, and it was like, I was afraid I might lose them, but I was like, well, I want to demonstrate to the world that I have nothing to hide. You know, there's this feeling of being persecuted, there's this feeling in me of being thought of by others as somebody who is dangerous or bad in some way or something, and there's this feeling of kind of wanting to prove to the world that that's an inaccurate picture of who I am. And, you know, I have, you know, consciously worked against that. In fact, I have this profile picture on my Facebook page, and I guess I'll show it right now if I can edit this in the video, so you're probably looking at it right now. You know, so I've got this picture on my Facebook page that makes me look really kind of noble and visionary and whatever, and I've had that as my profile picture for like 2 years now or something. And that's been, you know, a conscious effort to combat this idea of me that sees me as somebody who's manipulative or you know, I don't know what it is. Manipulative or self-interested for some people, I think, but I know the image of me that was that was kind of promoted to make me get suspended was that I was out of control and aggressive. So I don't know. You know, I mean, I know there are some people who are wary of me because of my history, and I'm not exactly sure which one of those images is the one that's put on me. But I'm very conscious of just being in this environment where I have a reputation as being something negative. And, you know, which is really, really difficult to deal with. I mean, really kind of makes me want to cry at some points, just because it's so difficult to deal with it. And I've chosen to remain in this environment rather than moving on because I feel an obligation to be here. And